Welcome back to another session of My Time, and today we are going to go through 3 basic stitches. So I'm going to bring you in so you can see my felt, and I'm using a safety needle and some twine at this point, but obviously you can do the same thing with a real sewing needle as well. So we'll bring you in and we'll get started. Okay, we are going to start. We're just going to use one piece of felt because as we're working with a safety needle, which is designed for children, it is not as sharp as a regular needle is. So to get through the felt, we're just going to use one piece of felt. But we are going to start off with stitch number 1, which is referred to as either the basic stitch or the running stitch, and essentially just stitching in a perfect line. So we're going to start from the back. You're going to come through and then you are just going to come back in through the front go in through the back again. Obviously this would be a lot easier and quicker and probably prettier with a real needle, but we are working with what we have here in the library, and obviously we are designed for doing these type of things with children. So this is a running stitch, just going along just like that and all the way along. So we're just going to finish this one up, untie it off, and then we are going to move on to our next stitch. So this is a basic running stitch. As you can see, it looks the same from both sides, and you can really do this as tight or as wide as you would like. And obviously, like I said before, this would be a lot easier if we weren't doing it with felt and safety needles. Now we're going to move on to this side, and we're going to next try what is called as a whip stitch. So a whip stitch essentially goes around the 2 pieces. So obviously we are just using 1 piece today, but if you had 2 pieces such as this, it would go around this. So we're going to start from the back. Another way is if you've got 2 pieces like this, you can actually start from inside the 2 pieces so that your knot is hidden. But in this case, we are just going to start from the back so that the knot is also at the back. And then we are just going to go along. So essentially then you take this from the back, you pushed it through, so now obviously the needle is at the front. And then instead of going through the front like you did with the basic stitch, we're just going to flip it back around to the back and do it again. Try not to get any of it tangled up. And just like that. So we're just going to go along and do as much of this as we can, and then we'll move on to our next stitch. many as you would like. This is also a decorative stitch, so it is great for doing along the bottom of clothing if they've got ripped hems and things like that, especially if you do it tighter, because it will keep your hem from ripping. Now we are going to move on to the last side, and we are going to do a blanket stitch. Okay. So a blanket stitch is also a decorative stitch that tends to obviously be used on blankets, but it is also very common when doing decorative little pieces, like a lot of the felt style crafts that we get here in the library. So we're going to start the same way. This is also a stitch that would be used to connect two separate pieces, but we're going to do it very much like our whip stitch and just do it along the side, along here. So we start once again on the back, or like I said, in regards to the whip stitch, you could start in the middle. We're going to put this through. Then we go back to the back again, like we did with the whip stitch. So this is essentially a fancier version of the whip stitch. So when you pull back out, as you can see, there is a portion of twine or sewing material, string. I've forgotten what it is called, but there is a portion of stuff here. So you go through it and you pull, so it looks like that. And then you go back again to the back, push it through, go through once again your twine and pull it through. Now, this is obviously a lot nicer when you do it on two pieces rather than just one, but this is the basic concept. So you get it, you pull it through and you pull it along. So through the back of your material, through the middle of your twine and pull it through. Once again, through the back, through the middle and pull it through. So that's how that is looking too. So obviously the tighter you do the holes, the smaller and the daintier it will look. So we are just going to finish this up, and then we're going to just go through a quick reminder of what all of these stitches are called. Okay. So those are our stitches. So we'll start off, just a reminder, this is our basic or our running stitch, which is essentially just going backwards and forwards while stitching. This is very similar to what a sewing machine will do, though obviously this is a lot wider. This is the whip stitch, which just goes around the edges of the two material, pulling them together nicely. And this, last but not least, is our blanket stitch. So we'll pull you up and we'll finish up this session of My Time. Alright, so that is all we've got for you on My Time this week. So we would love to see your versions of the stitches and what artistic creations you have used them for. So if you have created any sewing creations, please put them down in the comments and let us have a look. So we'll see you all next week, and yeah, bye. And stay tuned for next week, where Lee and I will be changing a car tyre. Okay, bye.